Hey guys, so today we're going to talk about finding the surface area of prisms, both triangular and rectangular prisms. So please make sure you have the notes in front of you so you can be filling those out as I go through them on the video. So let's go ahead and look at this first problem. It is a triangular prism. You can see our bases are triangles, and there are two of them, which tells us that this is definitely a prism. So when we go to find the surface area, we need to find the area of each individual shape. So on our net, we have two triangles, and these triangles have a base of 3, because if we know this is 3, then up here that has to be 3 centimeters as well. And then it has a height of 4 centimeters, which they label on both. So let's label our triangles shape A. And since they have the same dimensions, same base, same height, we can label them both with the letter A. And then we have 3 different rectangular shapes. So our first one is a 3 by 4, so let's label that B. Looking at our next rectangular shape, we know over here this is 3 centimeters. So that means here needs to be 3 centimeters and here needs to be 3 centimeters. And then all the way over here will also be 3 centimeters. So that makes our second shape, or our third shape, letter C in the middle, because that's a 3 by 3, which is different than letter B, our shape B, which was 3 by 4. And then we have shape D, which is a 3 by 5. The reason I label these A, B, C, and D for the different shapes is so I can keep my work organized when I'm going to make this, when I'm going to find the surface area of these prisms. So now that we did all of our labeling, we have all of our dimensions, let's start finding our areas. So shape A. Shape A is a triangle, so our formula should be area equals base times height divided by 2, or you can do area equals 1/2 times base times height. So I'm going to stick with base times height divided by 2, and we said our base was 3 centimeters times our height, which was 4, divided by 2. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 divided by, divided by 2 gives me an area of 6. So for one shape A, my area is 6 centimeters squared. Now, I have 2 shape A's, so I need to take that area of 6 and multiply it by 2 to get 12. And now, I'm done with shape A. So let's move on to shape B. Shape B is a rectangle, so my area formula would just be length, remember that's a weird looking L, times width. You could also say base times height if you want it. So area equals my length was 4 times my width was 3. So my area of shape B should be 12. And there is only one shape B, so we're good. Shape B is done. Shape C. Again, it's a rectangular figure, so length times width. And our length was 3, our width was 3, so our area for shape C is 9. It's a weird looking 9. And there's only one shape C, so we are good. Now let's talk about shape D. Shape D has a length of 5 and a width of 3, so shape D has an area of 15. And there's only one shape D, so we know we're good. So now we have our area of each individual shape. We can add all of them together to get our total surface area. So all of our shapes, we have A was both A's combined where area equals 12 centimeters squared. Shape B was 12, C was 9, and D was 15. So if we add 12 plus 12 plus 9 plus 15, we should get a total surface area of 48 centimeters squared. And that's our final answer. All right, so now we're ready for number 2. Number 2 is a little bit different because they give us the 3D figure, or in this case, our 3D triangular prism. But the problem is they don't give us our net. So we need to start off by drawing our net. I always start by drawing what shape is on the bottom. So if you look at our prism, at the bottom there would be a rectangle. So let's start with that shape, and we'll label it 15 by 4. Okay, and then I drop down the front and the back shapes. So looking at this, the front shape would be a triangle, and in the back there I have a triangle as well. So I'm going to start, or secondly, do my triangles, and I can label my dimensions. So the height on my triangles are 3, and the base, of course, is 4. Okay? And now we have those two sides to worry about. So there's a side here, which is a rectangle. And we have a side in the back there that we can't see. Way back there. And the dimensions for these are going to be 15 as my base. And then I have 5 centimeters, so 15 by 5, 15 by 5. So now I drew my net, I can go through and label my shapes. So let's start with that bottom shape, which was 15 by 4, and let's label that A. And I notice I do not have any more 15 by 4s, so that's my only shape A. We can make our triangles shape B, and we have 2 of them, so make sure you label both. And then our other rectangles are 15 by 5s. We have 2 of them, so let's label those shape C's. Now that we labeled all of our shapes, labeled all of our dimensions, we can start finding our different areas. So shape A, it's a rectangle, so we have length times width. Our length was 15 times our width was 4. Which gives us an area of 60. We only have one shape A, so we're good to go. Shape B is a triangle. So we need to do area equals base times height divided by 2. In this case, our base was 4 times our height of 3 divided by 2. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 divided by 2 is 6. Now that's the area for one of my triangles, so we need to take 6 and multiply it by 2 since we have 2 of the same triangles, and we'll get 12 as my area for shape B's. Now let's talk about shape C. It is a rectangle, so we have area equals 5 times 15. 5 times 15 will get you 75. And I have 2 shape C's, so I need to do 75 times 2, which will give me 150. Now shape C is done. And we can go back and add up all of our areas. So shape A was 60. Shape B's combined were 12. And shape C was 150. When I add all of those together, I should get 222 centimeters squared as my final answer. All right, on to number 3. Number 3 says, Miss Sherrick is making a kaleidoscope in the shape of a triangular prism. If she wants to paint only the sides and the back of it blue, How many square centimeters of paint will she need if it is shaped like the given drawing? So again, they give us our triangular prism, but they do not give us our net. So we need to start off by drawing our net. So let's start with that bottom rectangle. I always say it's the shape that is on your desk. So if I were to place that shape on my desk, the bottom shape would be that bottom rectangle, which is a 12 by 10 centimeter rectangle. Then let's drop down our triangles on the sides. And the base of our triangles are 12, and then the height is 16 on both sides. Okay, and now we have two rectangles. One of them is back here. So let's talk about that one first. Our bottom, or our base here, would be the same as this base here, so it's going to be 10. And then our height is going to be the same as that side, which will be 16. And then let's talk about the other rectangle. So let's drop down our rectangle. And now when we look at it, that's our front rectangle right there. So we have a base of 10, which would be this bottom part here. And then we have a height of 20. Okay, so now we drew our net, but we need to go back to the question because there is something very important that we need to do on our net based on the question. So if we read it, it says she wants to paint only the sides, so the lateral faces, and the back of it blue. How many square centimeters of paint will she need? So in this case, our two bases are triangles because they told us it was a triangular prism, but they only want the sides, so our sides would be our rectangles, and the back. So that means we need to cross out one of those triangles because we don't care about the front. We are not going to find the area of that shape. So once we cross it out, now we have 4 shapes we need to find the area of. So now we can go through and label shapes A, B, C, so on and so forth. So let's start with the shape we first drew, our 12 by 10, and we'll label that shape A. And we notice we have no other 12 by 10 rectangles, so we're done with shape A. Shape B, let's make our 10 by 20 shape B. And we have no other shapes that are 10 by 20, so we're moving on. Shape C can be our 16 by 10. And then our last shape can be our triangle, shape D. So now that we labeled all of our dimensions, labeled all of our shapes, I would like for you to go through and find the area of each of your shapes. So find the area of A, B, C, and D, and then add them all together to find your total surface area. Come back to the video to check your answer. So go ahead and check your answer. Shape A should have given you 120, shape B 200, C 160, D should have been 96, and when you add them all together, your total surface area should have been 576 centimeters squared. So now that we did 3 problems together, I want you to flip the paper over and try those 3 by yourself. You have to draw the net and then find the area of each of your shapes. Make sure you're labeling as you go. Shape A, shape B, so on, so forth. Number 6 on the back, be careful. You may have to mark off some of your shapes. And then go ahead and check the answer key in the unit plan when you're done. Good luck!